Good morning, students of class 10. Today we are hereby beginning with the 7th part of the chapter. In the earlier part, we have already learned that how the peasant movement was well organized. Initially it was not so, but later on how it became an important part of the national freedom movement and how it was also included as one of the most important part of the national movement of India. Now we are going to study about the labor or the workers movement. The workers who will become a stable or a considerable section of society who also contributed to the national freedom movement of India. Today we are going to study first with labor movement during anti-partisan movement of Bengal. Like this, we have already studied about the peasant movement in the anti-partition movement of Bengal. Today we are beginning with the labor movement during anti-partition movement of Bengal. The reasons behind the labor movement organization was that in industrial areas, workers started organizing unions as they believed that whenever a kind of exploitation was subjected on them, the way they can show their grievances was through a trade union. So in many industrial areas, the workers or the laborers started organizing strikes. Due to escalation of prices and the deprivation and insult, lot of laborers and workers started organizing strikes and labor unions in industrial areas. Due to excessive prices, the workers paid less. Their working hours were increased, but their payment or their wages were very less. So they tried to organize a labor union through which they can also show their grievances. Like industrial areas, the manufacturing organizations like cloth mills, jute mills, the workers from this manufacturing units also started organizing strikes. Now, many leaders who were national leaders supported this labor movement. Due to the support from the national leaders or the Congress leaders, this labor movement became an important section of organization in this movement. Collection of funds. The collection of funds was mainly done by the national leaders as national leaders collected funds from different areas and they invested in this labor movement. And because of this collection of funds, the labor movement also gained momentum and importance. Many important leaders were a part of this labor movement like Bipin Chandra Pal and Liaquat Hussain. These were all important part of the labor movement who made this labor movement a very important part of the Indian national movement. Now we will come to the four prominent leaders of this labor movement. Prabhat Kumar Bandyopadhyay, Ashwini Kumar Bandyopadhyay, Apurva Kumar Ghosh and Prem Tosh Basu were all four prominent leaders who played a very important part of the labor movement. And because of their contribution, the labor movement gained prominence. And the people who were prominent leaders like Prabhat Kumar Bandyopadhyay, Ashwini Kumar and Prem Tosh Basu and Apurva Kumar, they came from different fields. Like some were barristers, some worked in railway, some worked in jute mills. But they all contributed in this labor movement. As they came from different fields, their understanding of the labor movement was also very clear because they were the ones who realized the grievances of laborers working in these particular fields. Now we will see the different strikes that were organized by the labor. In Martin Burn Company, the laborers organized the workers working there first organized strikes. Later we will see that in Calcutta Tram Company, East India Railway, Clyde Jute Mills and in Calcutta Corporation, the laborers started organizing strikes. The organization of strikes was a way of showing the grievances or the exploitation meted out to them. This was the only way they thought that they can show the people of India what kind of exploitation they and their family had to face. Another press strike, the press or the newspapers or the journalism workers started organizing the strikes. The first organization was formed by Bengal Secretariat Press was formed a union. Bengal Secretariat Press formed a union which had all the workers or the press workers in it. Workers of India government press started organizing strikes and they were a part of a press strike. Now we will come to the labor movement outside Bengal. We will notice that labor movement outside Bengal was mainly originated in Tamil Nadu cloth mills under the leadership of Chidambaram Pillai. This was organized against the foreign owners of these cloth mills. And as this labor movement also became a part of the national movement of India, so the manufacturing units and industrial areas became more conscious, and they also thought by showing the grievances and by showing the exploitation or the bad treatment given to them, this would be another platform where they can show the grievances as well as they can fight for the national movement of freedom. Both things united together and both things had an appeal to the public. And these both things was a way of showing their aggression against the foreign rulers or foreign owners. Then we will see that in Rawalpindi Arms Factory and the railway workshop, there were many strikes organized by the workers against their owners. Rawalpindi Arms Factory and railway workshop, these were two places where we will notice that many laborers, all the workers and the classes of different classes of workers organized strikes against the foreign owners, and they believed this was a medium of showing their anger towards the owners. Now in this case, the most notable contribution of a leader was Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai was a very aggressive leader, and he believed that the only way of throwing out the British from India was through extremist methods, and it cannot be done through moderate methods. And so he contributed his leadership and has shown that how laborers, who are a considerable section of society without whom we cannot function, can also contribute to a huge movement of India's national movement of freedom. Today we have studied about the labor movement during the Anti-Partisan. The next day we are going to study about the labor movement during civil disobedience. Thank you.